Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Aja Goare. Rescue operations are still underway in Southern California today after torrential rain triggered mudslides Tuesday. At least 15 people died, and the search for victims is not over. CBS's Chris Martinez has more.
Montecito. Guys, back over to you.
Search teams in Southern California are working to reach areas buried in mud and debris after Tuesday's deadly rains.
We don't know how many additional people are still trapped. We know there are some, and we're still making our way into certain areas.
Torrential rains overwhelmed the town of Montecito and surrounding coastal communities, triggering devastating mudslides. Helicopters rescued dozens of stranded people. Crews on the ground also search for victims.
It looked like a World War I battlefield. It was literally a carpet of mud and debris everywhere.
Here in Burbank, another massive mudslide sent dirt and debris flowing through this neighborhood, damaging a number of homes.
The rushing of the mud and water and the power was amazing.
Heidi Donato saw water more than 5 feet deep rush past her house.
There was cars washing down, power lines washing down, huge boulders coming down, huge trees coming down.
This is how deep the mud is.
Oprah Winfrey posted video of the deep mud in her Santa Barbara backyard.
The house in the back is gone.
Today's forecast calls for clear skies, allowing the massive cleanup to begin, which could take weeks or even months. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Officials say most of the people living in evacuation zones did not leave. Here in Montana, winter weather is back with a vengeance. This video captured this morning in Billings, where the snow is making for a commuting nightmare. Several schools in south central Montana are closed, and Billings School District 2 using alternate bus routes to take students home today. Conditions in Bozeman no better as snow continues to fall. Whitefish Mountain Resort and Big Sky Ski Resort both report 7 to 12 inches of new snow in the past 24 hours. On that note, we turn now to the weather scene with Ed McIntosh. And how are we doing around the state today?
Yeah, we're starting to clear out, but now the cold air is really taking over, Asia. As we take a look and see what's happening with our radar here over the last 3 hours, the blue shaded areas show where we still have some snow, a little bit over in the south or in the west central Montana, but also across the eastern third of the state. But you see it shifting off towards the east. Here's a look at our high resolution analysis. Those blue arrows show the cold air moving down from the north. So as the snow continues to shift out of the region tonight, we're left with some really chilly temperatures first thing tomorrow, especially across the northern tier of the state east of the Continental Divide. But you in the west, you don't catch a break. You got more snow starting to move in tomorrow. We'll start talking more about that in a few minutes with a forecast.
Thanks, Ed. We'll check back in. A Chelsea, Montana man is being sentenced at this hour for a 2015 drunk driving crash that left his best friend dead. 21-year-old Thomas Scott is being sentenced in U.S. District Court in Great Falls on one count of involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say Scott was the designated driver, but he drank and got behind the wheel. On the way home, Scott swerved and rolled the vehicle on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation. His passenger, 19-year-old Joseph Hansen of Culbertson, was ejected and killed. We're learning more about the deadly shooting at a home in Belgrade last weekend. Authorities say 2 women were shot at a home on Idaho Street. 35-year-old Lauren DeWeiss of Bozeman died. Ashley Van Hemert is being treated for gunshot wounds. Hemert's current condition is unknown. A suspect was taken into custody Sunday, but no charges have been filed. A motive for the shooting is unknown. A man on trial in Great Falls for allegedly stabbing a man in the head repeatedly claims he acted in self-defense. Stacy Trujillo is charged in Cascade County District Court with assault with a weapon. Trujillo testified Tuesday he felt threatened when it appeared the victim was pulling a gun from his waistband. Trujillo allegedly stabbed the man in the head 5 times. Questioned by prosecutors, Trujillo said he never thought to call police. Trial resumes today. A federal judge ruled against President Trump's decision to end the DACA program. It's an Obama-era rule that protects people brought to this country illegally as children. CBS's Weijia Zhang has the details.
A federal judge has temporarily halted President Trump's decision to end the DACA program, which expires on March 5th. The judge ruled DACA recipients should not be deported until legal challenges have made their way through the courts. DACA protects an estimated 800,000 immigrants who were brought to this country illegally as children from being deported. President Trump vented on Twitter, writing, "It just shows everyone how broken and unfair our court system is when the opposing side in a case such as DACA always runs to the Ninth Circuit and almost always wins before being reversed by higher courts." White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders called the decision outrageous. She says the president is committed to finding a solution for DACA, but he says it's a job for Congress, not the courts.
The ruling last night in no way diminishes the urgency of resolving the DACA issue. On this, we agree with the White House.
President Trump led a bipartisan discussion on immigration reform Tuesday. With cameras rolling, the president said finding a deal for the so-called Dreamers is a priority, but not the top priority.
Is there any agreement without the wall?
No, there wouldn't be.
So the wall has to be there.
You need it.
The president wants Congress to provide $18 billion to build a wall along the Mexican border. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
Democrats want to tie legislation to protect DACA recipients to a government funding bill. Congress has until January 19th to pass a new spending bill, or there will be a government shutdown. A recent CBS report found an air base in Colorado uses a firefighting foam that contains toxic chemicals. Those toxins released into the water, resulting in reports of cancer and premature births. MTN's Elizabeth Transu spoke with Malmstrom Air Force Base officials in Great Falls to see what they're doing to keep airmen safe.
Contaminant that could be found in almost any household item, nonstick cookware, stain-resistant fabric, and even some food packaging is leaving Air Force bases across the country running tests.
This isn't just an issue in Colorado, and it's far from an issue here in Montana.
An industry-wide problem, this chemical found in firefighting foam has been used on Air Force bases since the 70s, but recent reports from a base located in Colorado leaving some sick has us checking on what steps Malmstrom is taking in keeping the community safe.
There is a contract that's that Air Force Civil Engineer Center is going at every base across the Air Force to identify if there was any potential release of any PFOS or PFOA into the groundwater. That report is still outstanding.
But Malmstrom is already steps ahead.
As part of the Air Force's plan to identify, respond, and prevent, that kind of tags on the prevent. We want to prevent any possible contaminants from getting in to the soils and drinking water. So
the base has drained the foam and replaced it with a more environmental friendly foam, put a foam testing procedure into all of the trucks, and are making sure that training is double lined and insulated.
See, like me who live at Malmstrom, we're part of the community as well. So if there ever is, any public health issue that comes from any type of Air Force mission, we will obviously get notice out to the public as soon as possible and respond to mitigate any issues.
Elizabeth Transu, MTN News, Great Falls.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And the Lieutenant Colonel says there's no evidence of chemical contamination in the water supply at the Air Force Base or surrounding community. The interim president at the University of Montana is rounding out her last week at the helm before the school's new president takes over. Seth Bodner takes on his new leadership role at UM in just a few days. Bodner told MTN News in a statement he's grateful for his predecessor, Sheila Stearns. She's had a busy term with responsibilities like balancing budgets against reduced enrollment and finishing off major building projects. Stearns says during her second retirement, she will spend more time with family. Still ahead on the noon news, an A-list celebrity takes on allegations of sexual misconduct. We'll explain. But first, Ed has our weather forecast.
You're watching